Hello, middle school families. The purpose of this video is to give you an inside look into a full distance learning model. We're going to start this model on November 30th, and we've been planning for weeks to make sure that this is a smooth transition and you and your students have everything they need to succeed. We know that this is going to bring a lot of stress and complication to your daily lives. Your learners are going to be at home all week, and we want to make sure that you have what you need to navigate our programs well. So if that means that we need to video conference to teach you some things about Google Classroom, Infinite Campus, Edpuzzle, any of that stuff, we're here to help you. We also understand that financial needs will change during this time. And if anybody out there needs help finding resources, finding technology, we're here to help you with that too. So don't feel free to reach out to me if you have any needs in those areas too. This program that we're going to outline is going to be different than what we did in the spring. If you were at the middle school last year, it's going to be fairly similar to what full distance learning students have been experiencing thus far this year, and we've had pretty positive feedback in that area. So we know it's going to be a change for our hybrid students and our hybrid families as we all transition to distance learning, but we want to make sure that you have what you need throughout this whole time so that you can be successful. Student materials, in the next couple days, we're going to make sure that all the hybrid students and all the DL students will have what they need for this at-home learning period. A survey was sent out on November 11th that went into details about some of the different materials that we can provide for families. If you haven't had a chance to complete that survey, please do. We're going to use that information to help us build our distribution schedule and provide what needs to be provided to families. So here's the distance learning format. These are the big ideas, the big things you'll need to know as a parent and as a student to make sure that you're successful. If you have finer questions, finer detail questions, please reach out to your advisors or to me. My email is on the last page of this slide, so make sure we write that down. Monday through Friday, every student will be required to join their advisory virtually. This is the same advisor they've had all year, and it's how not only how we collect attendance data, but also we set up the students for communication and social emotional needs. Beyond that advisory, your student will receive 6 lessons each day, Monday through Thursday. 2 of these lessons will be supported with live direct instruction. So these live sessions are required that every student attends. So each day, your student will have to log on at least 3 times. There are 2 live sessions and their advisory session. We're going to continue to use Google Classroom as our primary format delivery model. It's the same Google Classroom that you've been using thus far. However, in trimester 2, your students will change their specialty course. So on 12/7, we begin trimester 2. Your student will change from art, music, and Latin based on which grade they're in. We will also include a PE Google Classroom for everyone. So they will continue to go through the health program, but 2 days a week they will receive PE instruction as well. Fridays will be continued to be used as a catch-up day. They'll be required to log in at 8:40 for that advisory, but then the rest of the day will be used to catch up on missing work. Many of the teachers will assign longer projects on a Thursday or an assessment on a Thursday that's due halfway through Friday, but there will be no new lessons on a Friday, no pre-recorded nor live lessons. We're going to use Infinite Campus, continue to use Infinite Campus for grades. That's what we use for our grading and for our missing work. One thing that we should point out is Google Classroom is great, but it's not great for missing work. I'm going to pull back the curtain here a little bit. A student can click turned in on a blank assignment in Google Classroom, and it will show up in the grade book that they've completed that, and it won't show up on their to-do list. So we use Infinite Campus to tell parents how or what is missing still. Now there's a lag there, right? So if a student comes to you and says, I've done all my work, here's my to-do list, see it's all turned in, you can still go in and see what the student has turned in. And if you're running into a lot of missing assignments, I would suggest that you do that frequently until the student understands that the process for uploading documents. If it's an issue where they don't understand how to do that, please have them reach out to their advisor or that class's teacher, and they'll walk them through that. Most often, we haven't found that to be the case. So if you are struggling to log into Infinite Campus, please reach out to Ms. Jensen if you're a student, or Ms. Moreno in the main office if you're a parent. We can provide you with that login information. Every Friday, this is something new, the advisors will be sending out missing work emails to students and parents through Infinite Campus. So every Friday morning at around 9 a.m., you're going to receive an email, and it's going to have a list of all the missing assignments that student has out. And so that's a great time for them to catch up, because Friday we do not have new classes. Student expectations. Okay, so these are requirements for students to participate in distance learning. We want them to be successful, and we think that these are the things that they'll need to do to be successful. So students will be required to attend all live lessons and advisory each day. If you remember, that's 3 lessons a day. So it's about an hour and a half of live instruction, direct instruction that students will have to be on each day. Students will also be able to connect with their students Students will be able to connect with their teachers between 1 and 2 Monday through Thursday. Excuse me, that should say Thursday, not Friday. 1 to 2 Monday through Thursday, we have what we call a virtual study hall. This virtual study hall, teachers are dedicated to that time. Anytime a question comes up, they'll be able to respond it either through GChat, Gmail, or even video chat. Between 2 and 3, we're going to leave that time for our teachers to reach out to struggling scholars. We're going to call that office hours, but that doesn't mean that teachers won't be able to answer questions throughout the day. Those are just the dedicated times. 1 to 2, teachers will be available for direct one-on-one guidance or small group if there are several students with the same question. And 2 to 3, they will be reaching out to students. Students are encouraged to connect with their teachers via Gmail, GChat, or through Google Classroom. We're really going to work hard to teach our students how to use email. Now, for parents, most of us, that's pretty easy. That's a thing that we do often. For students, it's not. And so we're working with them to organize their inbox, respond to teacher emails frequently, and then show them how to craft an email too. One other thing that we're going to change, some teachers have already been using this, some haven't, but all teachers are going to start using something called Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle is just a video recording system that we'll upload to Google Classroom. So on your end, it won't seem a lot different. But what it allows us to do through Edpuzzle is we can track which students actually watch the video. That's a big thing for a pre-recorded lesson. Students sometimes in the spring, we're trying to jump past the lesson just to the assignment portion of it and not watch the lecture portion of it. And we found that that was very difficult for students and frustrating for them. And so guiding your student to watch those videos is really important. Having Edpuzzle there and that data will guide our conversations with families if we think that a student is struggling to watch those videos. Students will complete all assignments online through Google Classroom. This is a little bit different than the spring. We've done a pretty good job of training our students to turn in all assignments through Google Classroom. We have very few assignments coming in on Fridays from our distance learners. It's going to be a big change for hybrid though. Many of them have had the opportunity to turn in that assignment hard copy the next day. We'd really like to avoid that because just the turnaround on an assignment, if we're assigning something on Monday, the teachers don't get it till Friday, and then the response time, the lessons have already moved on since then, and so the direct and more instant feedback through the online classroom is preferred. Now we will make exceptions as needed, but we think that most students will have the capabilities to do that on a regular basis, and it's really the best way that we can serve them. Students will continue to follow the technology agreement that we signed at the start of the year. If you need a copy of that, please look at the email that comes out on 11/16 from your advisor. It'll be in that email. One thing that we're asking of all students is that they leave their video on during live instruction, those live sessions and advisory. It's very important for a teacher to see that feedback, that visual feedback from a student that they're doing all the time in the classroom. If they can have that camera on, it helps a lot with checking for understanding. These teachers are pros and they can see a lot just from a student's face. And so having that on, that's our expectation. If a parent would like to opt out from that, that's fine. We just need an email to the advisor or to the teacher. We appreciate that. Attendance. If a student is sick, it's the same as if they're on campus. If they're not going to be able to participate in the day, we need you to call Ms. Moreno at the main office, and we'll mark it as unexcused due to illness or apparent activity, and then we'll follow the traditional absence policy in our handbook. And hopefully this won't be an issue, but we will continue to follow the behavior policy outlined in our student handbook. We'll still do 4 FYIs equals a detention, and we'll do virtual detentions. I've been able to do some detentions virtually this year, and students will participate in a reflection activity and then write a restorative letter to the person that they harmed during the time that they got the detention. So if you have any questions on that, please send me an email or give me a phone call. Student schedules are all individualized based on the student's advisory group. This unique schedule to your child will be emailed out in the 11/16 email from their advisors, and they will follow that specifically. If you have any questions regarding this or any of the whole program, please reach out to your child's advisors or me at rgruch@shpamn.org. Thank you and enjoy the day.